dear students of 7A and 7B. As you know, we are going to do the class together from now on. So, before I start, let's make a short revision of Unit 5. After that, we are going to go on with Unit 6. But your first topic in Unit 5 was comparative. So, what is comparative? Friends, comparative is if we compare two people. So, 1, 2. There are two people. So if I compare them and if I have an adjective which is just with one syllable, what does it mean syllable? One syllable. Tall is one syllable. Expensive is three syllable. So tall, if it's just one syllable, we add ER. One syllable plus ER. If it's more than one syllable, for example, expensive, it's three syllable, we add more in front of the adjective or adverb. So here there is Tim and there is Ali. Tim is taller than Ali. We have just one syllable, we add ER. But here are two dresses. One of them, the red one, is 250 Turkish liras and the blue one is 100 Turkish liras. So the red dress is more expensive than the blue dress. Why did we use more and not ER? Because expensive has three syllables. 1, 2, 3. Expensive. So we don't add ER, we add more. Don't add ER in front of syllables which are more than one. No ER. Let's look at the next page. Again, we have Tim. And again, we have addresses, but this time we have superlative. What is superlative? What is the difference between superlative and comparative? Friends, superlative is if we compare more people with just one person or thing. For example, there's just one dress, but we compare it with more than one. Here's just Tim, but we compare Tim with more than one person, so we say superlative. If we compare a person with more than one person or thing. Let's see. Tim is the tallest of all. So there are two people, and here's just Tim. So we add EST. If we use superlative, we add EST. If we use comparative, we use ER. But there are two, so we have to use EST. What about if my adjective or adverb had more than one syllable? Expensive. There are three syllables. So again, we use this time most because superlative is most. And if it's just one syllable, it is EST. And comparative is more. And if it's one syllable, ER. Okay? So comparative, only two. But superlative, more than two. Three. Okay? Now let's look at some exercises. Let's do them together, okay? The first one, big. How do we make big with comparative? We say, let's say it, you have time. Big? Yes. Bigger. And in superlative, we say, or let's do it from here. Let's first do the comparative. Bigger. Brave? Yes. Braver. Calm? Calmer. Bad? Do we say better? No, of course not. We say worse. Because this is irregular. Irregular. Fit? Yes, fitter. Good. What do we say for good? Better. Because this is also irregular, friends. Far. What do we say for far? You know it? No, my brother don't know it, so we use further. This is also irregular. Okay? This is the comparative. And how do we do superlative? Let's look. Big. Bigger. Superlative is the biggest. Do not forget the. Brave. Braver. The bravest. By the way, what's the meaning of brave? You remember? If not, look up into your dictionaries, please. Calm, calmer, the calmest. Bad, worse, worst. Fit, fitter, the fittest. Good, better, the best. Far, further, the furthest. Okay? So comparative, superlative. Do not forget est, est, est. This is irregular. Again, est, this is also irregular, and this is also irregular, but you can see est. And if it's comparative, we add er, 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 irregular, er, irregular, irregular, but there are also ers. Now, what about if we use the comparative and superlative in more than one syllable? Careful, beautiful, expensive, interesting, intelligent. Okay, now let's look what we have to do here. If we have comparative, what do we say? We say most or more in comparative. You remember? We say more. So we say more careful. We don't add anything here, okay? You don't have to add anything. Beautiful. Again, we say more beautiful. Expensive. More expensive. Interesting. Again, more interesting. Intelligent. More intelligent. Okay, this is how we do comparative, but how do we do superlative? Do you have any ideas? Careful, we say more in comparative, but what do we say in superlative? We say most. Most careful, beautiful, most beautiful, expensive, most expensive, interesting, most interesting, and intelligent, most intelligent. Okay, you got it? So friends, if it's more than 2 syllables, careful, 2 syllables, beautiful, 3 syllables, expensive, 3 syllables, we use more and most. Okay, do not forget this. And the next page is about the SS. So I think you remember SS. We use the SS for things which are the same or almost the same. Okay, the tree is as big as this tree. They are the same. They are the same. If I want to say that they are the same, I use S, adjective plus S. Here, they are smiling. Both of them are smiling. He is as happy as her. Okay, again, we have the same 2 people who are happy. For example, here it's strong. He is a strong person and he is also a strong person. So how do I say this? I say he is as strong as him. So friends, the only thing you have to do is put an adjective between as and as, and then you can compare, not compare, it's almost the same things together, okay? And then we have the countable and uncountable. From unit 5, this is the last topic, I think. Okay, friends, countable, you can count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Uncountable, you can't count, okay? Countable, you can. Uncountable, you can't. Okay, which one do we use for countable? We use a lot of, which we also use for uncountable. We use many for countable, but much for uncountable. We use a few for countable, but we use a little for uncountable. If I want to ask you a question, you say how many for countable, how much for uncountable. Let's give an example. Apple, is it countable or uncountable? Apple is countable. So you can say there are a lot of apples. You can say there are many apples. Or you can say there are a few apples. Or how many apples are there in the fridge? If you want to talk about uncountable, for example, milk or water is uncountable. So you say there is a lot of milk because you can't count milk. Or you say there is much milk. Or you say there is a little milk. And if you want to say, ask something, you say how much milk is there. We are going to do some exercises when we are on Zoom. So from now on, you are free to listen to the video again, or you are free to start the program with me together in Zoom. See you guys!